Welcome in. You are listening to Just an Average Podcast with your hosts, Jake and Casey. Got our green on, Casey. We're ready to go. No one's pinching us today. So, St. Patrick's Day. Is St. Patrick's Day a day to you we're celebrating?
No.
As you're sitting there with your green shirt and your Coors Light Shamrock hat on. I don't know. I mean, I realize that it's not as big of a day, at least for us in this area, as it is for other people. Obviously, in Ireland, it's probably huge. But yeah, I think the only thing that I really do to celebrate St. Patrick's Day is probably wear green, which we're both wearing. Mine's more of an olive green.
And drink.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even go out. Like, we're on spring break. I didn't even think about going out anywhere to do anything. If you had the chance, obviously we live in Illinois. If you had the chance to go to Chicago and see the Green River, would you?
Don't really care.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I've been seeing so many social media posts of like
I try to stay away from Chicago as much as possible.
Yeah, I've seen some social media posts of like them coloring the water green, and then like everybody walking around. It's like, well, seeing the river, not worth it, just because of like just how many people are up there and doing everything.
And this time of the year, it's always typically super cold.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got pretty lucky. Well, we got lucky this past week, but then snow, like we went 70 degrees, 60 degrees, tornado. 50 degrees, snow. So we've had a whirlwind of weather in the past 72 hours.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's the full Illinois effect. Those of you that live in Illinois know exactly what we're talking about. But to what extent do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Really at all? I mean, other than wearing green?
I don't even know if I've ever even went out and celebrated St. Patrick's Day. Like went out and done anything.
Really? I know there for a few years, because they always have things like, I mean, especially when you're in college, you go to these different things that are going on around. But going to like different pubs and stuff like that, I think I've been to Peoria and went to few different pubs, and it's a blast. Like it's celebrated to an extreme extent, obviously, in a lot of other bigger places. Here in Macomb, not as much. But so I'm assuming since you don't celebrate, you don't really have any kind of traditions you do every single year.
No, I really don't.
Just another day. Just another day to you.
Just another day.
It's fair enough. So I think the only tradition that we really celebrated, especially growing up, is every single St. Patrick's Day, my grandma would make the corned beef and cabbage every single St. Patrick's Day. So like that was kind of our tradition every single year. I don't necessarily remember celebrating it, but I always remember eating corned beef and cabbage every single St. Patrick's Day. Not a fan. I see the look on your face. Not a fan of corned beef, or is it the cabbage?
I like cabbage. I don't like corned beef.
Really? That kind of surprises me. I figured you'd be like, I like the corned beef, but not the cabbage.
No, I like cabbage.
Yeah, I love cabbage. It's really good. But well, a little bit of trivia. I know we got some trivia going on too, but do you know who St. Patrick was?
Yeah, actually, we went over this in church today a little bit.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, about how he was. Well, I can't remember what his name is. It's some weird Irish name. But yeah, he converted. He's converted into a priest and became a priest, and that's the reason why we celebrate it, is because it's like of him like transitioning into that and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So. I'm going to try not to butcher it. Mauen Sukut. Okay. I'm going to look up his pronunciation of his name.
Yeah. It's a weird name.
Yeah. Cause we also talked about it, a little bit in church, which is kind of funny. We'll talk. I mean, obviously St. Patrick's Day weekend. Wow, they do not have any pronunciations for this. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. He was actually like captured, correct? He was.
He was captured.
Was in prison for like 6 years, and when he got out, it really kind of changed his faith, and decided to, reach out to other people and try to get them following Christianity. So yeah, he's actually credited with converting many to Christianity and is Ireland's patron saint, which is awesome. But I honestly did not know a lot about that. Like you said, you learned it in church today. I learned it in church today, as well. They talked about it, not to the extent to what you're talking about, but still talked about it for sure. And do you know also why green is associated with St. Patrick's Day?
When I was looking up like these trivia questions to ask you, came across it a couple times. I don't really remember.
Do you know what color it was before it was green, though? Do you know what color it was?
That was actually going to be one of my trivia questions for you, I think.
Well, we'll save that for the trivia question. No, so the association of the green, from what I read, was basically the blend of religion and like rebellion and legend, which kind of goes into the whole St. Patrick's Day theme. But green rose to prominence in the 17th and 18th centuries as Irish rebels used it as a symbol of nationalism against the British rule. So the shamrock, obviously, you're wearing a shamrock hat, is also associated with St. Patrick's Day, which is also green. So it's kind of neat. You know, all the things kind of go together a little bit too. But then you kind of get into more of the mythical things of St. Patrick's Day, because when you think of St. Patrick's Day, the first thing that's related or associated with St. Patrick's Day is the leprechauns.
Yeah,
which is leprechauns. You got the pot of gold.
And they come from that like the fairy side of mythical.
Yeah,
like they're not like there's different mythical sides, but they're part of the fairy side of it. The like that can appear and then vanish, appear and vanish.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
But it wasn't directly. I know I did read that the leprechauns aren't directly connected to St. Patrick, but it's in like the Irish folklore, which kind of plays into the theme of St. Patrick's Day. Obviously, it's kind of like their quote unquote mascot of St. Patrick's Day is a leprechaun. And definitely, I think adds to like the fun and the festivities and stuff like that of St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when you think of a leprechaun, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of a leprechaun?
Pot of gold, baby.
The leprechaun, rainbow, and luck. I associate. I mean, at least me personally, I associate leprechauns and luck in the same thing. But I think
when I think of luck, I think of the
shamrock.
The shamrock,
correct. Yeah. So the association of St. Patrick's Day is largely due to the symbol of the shamrock. But when I think of like a leprechaun, I think of like lucky, like a lucky leprechaun. So basically, it all kind of plays into that same thing that is associated with St. Patrick's Day, which is really cool.
So when I was looking up this stuff, there's a tradition that they do in Ireland with the shamrock. So they take an Irish whiskey. I don't know if you saw this. So they take an Irish whiskey and they put it in a shot glass, and you drown the shamrock into the Irish whiskey. You drown it in it, and then you take the shot.
Oh, really?
You don't drink the shamrock.
But
you drown the shamrock in there. You leave it in there for a minute, then you take the shot of whiskey, and it's supposed to give you like symbolize like good luck, give you like a good luck. Yeah.
Well, I know the shamrock represents like way back when in general represents, it was the Holy Trinity, I think, which became the symbol of good fortune. So obviously, the shamrock, it all plays together, which is really neat. But St. Patrick's Day, it's one of those quote unquote holidays that really I think is a little underrated, especially with the history. Like you always think of like Christmas and Saint Nick and the Easter Bunny and like all of the history that goes along with those holidays, but not a lot of people talk about the history of St. Patrick's Day, or if they do, it's not like as much as these other holidays personally.
And I think that and a lot of people don't know the history of, I didn't know a lot of the history, honestly, of St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
But it's funny because people just think that St. Patrick's Day is just a day where you go out and you just get hammered drunk and drink a lot, like drink green beer and eat food, and you just treat it like this drunk fest pretty much. And that's really not what it's
it's really not
what it was symbolized for.
I think it's kind of evolved into more of, I mean, just like a lot of holidays, there's a lot of deeper meaning behind all these holidays, but I think it's evolved into, the celebration of certain things. Obviously, you get more of the elements like the leprechaun, like the shamrock, and it just kind of adds to the playful fun of St. Patrick's Day. But, it's the same thing with, with Christmas and St. Nick, and obviously, the adding the elements of presents and the fun and family. But there's not really, at least from my perspective, it was never, St. Patrick's Day was never like, oh, it's St. Patrick's Day. It's a family day. Like, it's time to spend time with family. I get more of that from like the Christmas and the Thanksgiving. But it is. It's very interesting. Like all these elements that kind of play into St. Patrick's Day. And here's another fact for you. Why do we wear green? Why do we wear green on St. Patrick's Day?
So you don't get pinched.
We don't get pinched. And apparently that also ties into the leprechauns, because they're mischievous, and obviously they can see, if you're wearing green, you're invisible. To them, if you're wearing green, you're invisible. So if you aren't wearing green, not invisible, get pinched. So it's so cool. There's so many things that there's layers. It's like an onion. There's layers.
Yep. You're supposed to kiss. You're supposed to kiss an Irish person.
Kiss me, I'm Irish. Yeah. It's like
you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to do that too. Like, there's a couple of things.
Yeah. So basically, us wearing green camouflages us to the leprechaun. So it's interesting. It's cool. It's awesome. I always remember in high school, though, my goodness, if it was St. Patrick's Day, I mean, that's a tradition by itself. If it's St. Patrick's Day and you didn't wear green at school, kids were not afraid to pinch you. I mean, extremely hard if you weren't wearing green. So
yeah,
that was always terrible. I always didn't look forward. I mean, it was one of those days to where when you're really young, if you did not wear green to school and you forgot about it, it almost made me want to cry, because I'm like, I know I'm going to get pinched. It's like those stupid trends, like you buy brand new shoes and you come into school and then someone be like, oh, those are nice shoes. And then they'd step right on them. I don't know why. Kids are just mean, man. But we're going to move on here to the next little section of this. And we already talked a little bit about the trivia. So we've kind of done a little bit of history on St. Patrick's Day, but now you actually have some trivia questions for me, and I'm going to answer. I'm not going to look anything up. I want this to be completely fair. Although I did do some research on this. So if there's anything that you say, could be something that pops into my mind.
Okay. All right. You
Question
ready?
one. I'm ready.
Question one. We already discussed this a little bit, and you asked me this question.
Yeah.
Already. In the 17th century, green became associated with St. Patrick's Day. What color was associated with this holiday originally?
And it was blue. Yeah, blue, because I did read that beforehand. I did not, though, read why it was blue. I think because blue was originally linked to St. Patrick, the individual. So I think
I would assume probably.
Yeah. And then green kind of came a little bit later on. So yeah, blue. Okay. 1 for 1.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Here's a more of a not in depth, but probably I don't know if you know this one or not. I think this would be one that might stump you. So what is the most popular drink to have on St. Patrick's Day?
Okay. Can I have 2 guesses? We'll go 1 guess. I'm going to go, is this for adults or is it for anybody?
Yeah.
Guinness.
Yes.
Is it Guinness? Let's go. Okay.
You're supposed to sip a Guinness.
Yeah.
I was going
to say Guinness, but then I was Guinness thinking Shamrock Shake. That was really close.
Guinness is like the number one alcoholic drink in Ireland anyways.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I was in between 2 there. I was going to say either Shamrock Shake, because I'm like, universally, I'm sure a lot more kids and people are drinking the Shamrock Shakes other than a Guinness. But yeah, Guinness I feel like is the staple of St. Patrick's Day.
All right. Where did the first ever St. Patrick's Day parade take place?
Ireland.
Wrong.
Yeah,
it was actually the United States. The United States was the first country to do a parade.
When? Do we know when? Do we have a date on that?
1792, I think is what it was.
Wow. So it's definitely been going on.
Fact check me on that.
Okay, I got you. I think
it was 1792.
Okay, so first
First
Patty's
ever
Day.
St. Patty's Day parade.
Okay, first St. Patty's Day parade. Let's see. 1762, New York City. 1762.
My bad. Haters are
Wipe the
gonna
head
hate.
off.
Oh man, haters are gonna. Oh,
wipe.
I don't know
Wipe
what
the
I'm
sweat
talking
up right
about.
there. Oh my goodness. All right. Was that so? I'm 2 for 3 now. On to the fourth question here.
All right. What is the culinary tradition of St. Patrick's Day?
I think we just talked about that. It's corned beef and cabbage.
To eat corned beef and
Yeah,
cabbage.
corned beef and cabbage. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Sweet. So
All right,
I know
now
I know a little bit of St. Patrick's
last
Day.
one. This last one. This one's not really much about St. Patrick's Day. It's
Okay.
just more about the Irish, just Irish in general.
Okay.
The most popular Irish band of all time.
Dropkick Murphys. No, I'm kidding. I don't know if that's it or not. Is it Dropkick Murphys? Oh, it's not. Okay.
It's a popular band though.
An Irish band. It's still to this day
I
a
will
popular
say-
band.
I don't know about right now, but in the 80s it was a pretty popular band. 80s into the 90s.
Was it the Cranberries? Are they Irish?
Close. Yeah, they are
Ah.
Irish. Cranberries
Are they?
are Irish, yes. They are one of the most popular bands, but they're not the most popular band.
Okay, who is it?
U2.
U2. Gosh, dang it. That's a good they are a popular band. They are a popular band. I think whenever I hear any kind of like when I think of an Irish band, I immediately go to the Dropkick Murphys. Do you know who I'm talking about? Like shipping up
No.
to Boston. We're shipping up to Boston. Whoa. No. Wow. Okay. Well, if you get a chance, listen to the Dropkick Murphys. I actually really like them. They're kind of like a harder rock band, which is
Okay.
like Irish rock band. I like
Okay.
them a lot. But all right, so what'd I go?
3 for 5 or
3 for 5. Not great, not ideal.
You would have done
but,
better than I would have if I never. I mean, if you wouldn't have looked that stuff up, how many would you? How many of those would you have got? Would you have gotten them all still?
Probably
The same
three.
ones?
Probably 3. Yeah, 3 out of 5. Probably. Yeah. I feel like. Yeah, I feel like those are. Well, no, I would not have got the blue one. I would not have got the blue
Yeah,
one.
I wouldn't
That's
have got
because
that
of the-
either.
So 2 out of 5 is probably what I would have been. But we can't end there though. We've got trivia. We've talked the history. The one thing that this is missing is a draft. So before we get out of here, we've got to get a St. Patrick's Day musts. All right, draft going. Okay, so this is, and where you get to see this beautiful St. Patrick's Day little leprechaun here. This is the must. So these are things you have to do on St. Patrick's Day. You have the first pick. So you can basically select anything that you believe would be a must you have to do on St. Patrick's Day.
I'm just going to go with the obvious, and I'm going to say wear green.
That's a good pick. I don't know if there's a more obvious pick than wear green on St. Patrick's Day. And for those that I even got the Irish font going on here. So yeah, wear green. That's a great one. Feel like it's, slam dunk, home run pick for your first choice there. Now I have back to back, and I'm thinking of this, and I feel like there's 2 things that I can pick here. So you did wear green.
Yep.
I think my first one is gonna have to be the corned beef and cabbage. So I think you're gonna have to eat the corned beef and cabbage. I feel like since that's a tradition, I mean, like I said, that's something that I did every single year. So we're gonna go corned beef and cabbage.
Are we doing a snake?
It is a snake draft. Yep. Corned beef and cabbage. And my next pick, we've already talked about this too. I feel like you're going to have to drink a Guinness. I feel like you're drinking, you got the corned beef and cabbage, and I feel like you got to drink a Guinness. So we're going to put sip a Guinness.
Sip a Guinness. The people be like, what is sip a Guinness?
Sip a Guinness?
What
do you mean
sip a Guinness?
Is that some...
What is a sip of Guinness? I've never had one of those before.
I'll just put it all together too. Let's see if I can spell Guinness right. Guiness, I think. Sip of Guinness. Guinness, honestly, one of my favorite draft beers. I think it's very good. All right, there we go. Back to you. So I've got the corned beef cabbage. I've got the Guinness. Kind of on the food train here, but I feel like those are a solid 2 picks.
Okay. For my second pick, I'm going to go with Search for a 4-leaf clover.
Search for a 4-leaf clover. That's another good one. Man, you're knocking out of the park with these. This might be a clean sweep. Have you ever done that before? And do you know how hard it
Yeah,
is to do that?
I've tried to find. I've never found one before. Did you know? So another fun fact: did you know that you will have a 1 in 10,000 chance of finding a 4-leaf clover?
Really?
Yes,
I didn't know. I did not
you
know
have a
that.
1 in 10,000 chance. That's why it's so lucky to have one.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So search for a 4-leaf clover, and my third one.
I really hope you don't steal this one here. I'm really hoping the one that I want slips.
I think right now, I think I'm just going to keep going with the green here, and I'm going to go with drink green beer.
Okay. Oh, you are sticking straight green. Okay. So, okay. Drinking a green beer. So just
I
sticking
have one more. I hope you don't take.
Okay. Well, I
Kind
have
of
back
hoping
to
that
back.
I was kind of hoping that the 4 and the 5 would.
I'm I can go a lot of different ways here, but I mean I could have back to back, so I'm really not too worried about it. What I'm gonna do though, we're on the drink thing. I'm going Shamrock Shake. You got to get a Shamrock Shake. So I'm all about the food.
Mm.
So we're gonna go Shamrock Shake here. So we're gonna just move this up. Drink a Shamrock Shake, and you know what? What better? What a better time to enjoy all of these, the corned beef and cabbage, sipping a Guinness, drinking a Shamrock Shake. What better way to enjoy all these than attending a parade? And that is going to be my fourth pick, is attending a parade. So, I mean, like, there's always parades going on. Was that one of your picks or no?
No.
Dang. I was kind of hoping
Not a
I took one of
parade
yours.
guy.
All right, so attend a parade. I think there's a lot of fun that can be had at parades. While there is a lot of people, I feel like there's a lot of things you can do, and there's a lot of food to be eaten. So, parade is going to be my fourth pick here. All right, back to back picks. You get to round it out. And I have a couple here left that I hope you don't take.
I'm gonna go with on my fourth because you kind of put me on spot here. I didn't know we are gonna do this, so I've been kind of just looking some stuff up here as I go. I'm gonna say this one. I'm gonna say drown a shamrock.
Drown a shamrock. So we were just talking about it earlier. Okay,
try and get that luck. Rolling with me.
Okay, and then number 5.
And then my last one, I'm just gonna go with the kid side of me, and I'm say eat Lucky Charms.
Eat Lucky Charms. I love it.
Because they're magically delicious, man.
Ian, if you could get them delivered to you by a leprechaun, it's game over. It'd be awesome. It'd be really cool if we actually had a
leprechaun.
Oh man, no! If we had like an intern that could do all this stuff for me, someone that could be in charge of us, and we could just sit here and talk.
Maybe one day.
Trying to type and talk at the same time.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. Anybody out there wants to be an intern or for a producer?
For absolutely nothing.
Yeah, we're not going to give you anything, but it's the experience that counts. You can put it on your resume. All right, last one here. Last one here. You're going with the Lucky Charms for breakfast, and I've already had,
I've already had a bowl of Lucky Charms today.
No, I feel like I've got to continue to go in with the food talk here. I'm gonna have an Irish breakfast.
Okay.
I'm gonna have do you know what an Irish breakfast is?
No.
All right. So Irish breakfast. It's huge. I know for a fact it's got like sausages. It's got like baked beans. I mean, it's got a ton
baked
of stuff.
Beans in the morning.
Yeah. It's a lot. An Irish breakfast looks like a baked beans, bacon, sausage. It looks like that's tomatoes, eggs. It's got everything. It's got everything.
Have some green eggs.
A fried Irish breakfast will set you up for the whole day. It might set you up for the whole week. I'm not going to look into this plate here. Irish breakfast looks delicious. Wow. Yeah, tomatoes. Looks like it's got a few mushrooms in there too. Ham. That's a Polish sausage. So
that's a Polish sausage.
That's a Polish sausage. Yeah, so it's got anything and everything you could want. So All right, so to round out this draft, we'll go ahead and go over these picks here. Casey, you've got wear green with your first pick, search for a 4-leaf clover, drink green beer, drown a shamrock, and then eat Lucky Charms. And then I've got corned beef and cabbage, sip a Guinness, drink a shamrock shake, attend a parade, and have an Irish breakfast.
You're gonna be full by the end of that day, bud.
I might be in over my head with a few of these here.
That Shamrock Shake and Guinness will fill you up in itself.
Yeah, like I said, I think I could have an Irish breakfast and I would be set for the rest of the week.
And I'm not a huge. Are you a huge Guinness guy? I'm not really a big Guinness guy.
Yeah. So Guinness was actually, fun fact for you, Guinness was actually the first craft beer I had ever tried.
Like, I don't think it's absolutely terrible, but it's not something that I would buy on the regular. Like, it's not something that I would drink on the regular. No, I would much rather have a malt.
Yeah.
If I'm going to drink a heavier beer like that, I would much rather have a malt or some different type of lager. So I really like malt. Like, I really like milk stouts. Like, it kind of reminds me of like a milk stout a little bit.
Well, as with any alcoholic beverage, beer in particular, on tap is so much better than out of a bottle.
Now I can say that I have not had Guinness
on tap.
You
have to. It's so much creamier, so much smoother.
I had it out of the can into a glass.
Yeah. It's so much smoother.
Where do they have Guinness on draft around here?
A lot of places. I think B-Dubs has Guinness. Yeah,
really?
B-Dubs definitely has Guinness on draft because I've had it there
numerous times. Might have to go there sometime and get one.
Give it a try. Like I said, on draft with any drink is so much better than out of a can
but it's really hard for me. It's really hard for me right now to go and not get a Yuengling on draft.
Yeah, that's fair. Just because it's
Yuengling lager on draft. Ooh.
Yeah. Especially they're just coming out super popular for sure. All right, can or bottle though? What do you prefer, can or bottle?
If I'm drinking beer, I want it in a bottle. I don't like can very much. I'm not a big can person. If I'm going to the bar and I'm getting say Busch Light, I'm getting it out of the bottle. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll buy cans to have in my home.
Yeah, that's fair.
I won't drink. I won't buy bottles for home.
Yeah. That's fair.
Just because I don't want to throw a glass away. But
yeah, that's just, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I buy either or, but yeah, I definitely see your point on that. Sometimes you get out of a can, it's got more of
it's a different taste.
Yeah, definitely a different taste. But I think that's going to wrap up our St. Patrick's Day talk today. I personally, I can say I think I've learned a lot of new things about St. Patrick's Day. I feel like there's a lot of things that aren't talked about enough. The deep history, the rich history of St. Patrick's Day and St. Patrick in general. So hopefully those of you that are listening got a lot out of this podcast. And, getting a phone call from someone here. Let's see. Oh, it's a text. It says, this is actually really important. I don't know what this is here. It seems, Casey, you're not going to believe this.